Welcome to Life Unpacked, the weekly podcast designed to help you navigate the everyday with more clarity, purpose, and intention. In each episode, we take the challenges, questions, and experiences that shape our lives and unpack them layer by layer. Through honest conversations and elevated perspectives, we explore practical insights that can help you grow, think differently, and create a better, more fulfilling life. Whether you're looking for direction, inspiration, or simply a moment to pause and reflect, Life Unpacked is your space to reset and rise. Together, we'll dig deep, open up new ways of seeing the world, and empower you to live each day with more confidence, balance, and meaning. We all know that loving others can be incredibly hard. We often treat love like a heavy stone that we have to push up a hill through sheer self-effort, only to find ourselves met with frustration and failure. But what if the secret isn't about trying harder, but about connecting deeper? Today, we are exploring the vine and the branches. We're diving into the principle of John 15, that we are the branches and Jesus is the vine. Join us as we discuss how to stop struggling and start abiding. This is the secret to true love.
Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Our mission is, well, it's always the same. We take something powerful, in this case, a really impactful sermon from Life International Church in Durban, South Africa, and we try to distill the biggest insights for you so you can walk away feeling, really locked in on the bigger picture.
And today's deep dive is, it's about something fundamental, but also something incredibly challenging in practical Christian living. It's about love.
Yeah.
And this source material is it's brutally honest about the gap between our desire to love and, well, our day-to-day reality.
Yeah, that's what hit me when I was going through the message. The central question, the paradox, was this. If Christian love is supposed to be the church's greatest defense, the one true mark of maturity, why is it so hard to get right? It feels like we're constantly failing at the one thing that's supposed to matter the most.
And that's exactly the starting point of the whole message. It just acknowledges that frustration. We all know the mandate to love, but when you actually try to apply it, it just feels exhausting.
Exactly. Okay, so let's unpack this. Because the speaker kicked things off with a principle I'd heard before, but it hit different this time. The idea that faith only works through love.
Which is a massive statement. It really raises the stakes, doesn't it? You can have all the faith in the world, you can move mountains, but if the motivation, if the delivery system isn't love, the source argues that faith is, well, it's ineffective.
It's just power without a point.
Right. It lacks its application.
Yeah. And right after that, the sermon just dives straight into the struggle. I heard the speaker say that even though the principle of love sounds so beautiful, actually putting it into practice is difficult. It takes too much effort.
Yeah.
And that honesty, that weariness is what makes it so relatable.
It is, because we've all been there. And to kind of quantify that struggle, the speaker did this. This love audit, I'm calling it. He asked the congregation to rate themselves. 10 is loving exactly like Jesus every single day.
The range was incredible. I mean, everything from a 1.5 up to a 7.5. It just shows this huge chasm between how we think we should be and how we actually are. But then, and this is where it got really interesting for me, the speaker shared his own number.
Okay.
He admitted that, in his own experience, he felt he was only operating at a 4 out of 10 in love.
See, that vulnerability, that right there gives him immediate, radical credibility. He's not talking down to the audience. He's in the problem with them.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Isn't there a danger in that? Admitting you're a 4? Does that just give people permission to settle?
That's a really fair point. But I think the way it was used, it wasn't permission to settle. It was proof that the current system we're all using, just trying harder, is fundamentally broken.
Okay, so the failure isn't a lack of effort.
Exactly. It's a lack of connection. And the stakes couldn't be higher. The sermon defined this love as the best and only defense of the church. It's best apologetic.
Let's pause on that word for a second. Apologetic. What does that mean for the listener practically? That love is our only defense.
I think it means that the thing that convinces a skeptical world isn't our perfect arguments or our doctrines. It's the visibly different, selfless way that Christians treat each other and everyone else.
So when the world sees that kind of radical love, the debating stops.
Yeah. And the questions begin, like, what is the source of that power?
That sounds powerful. And the source also emphasized that everything we do, literally everything, every thought, every action, it has to pass through this filter called love.
And if it doesn't?
then the effort is in vain.
So all that work, all that trying for nothing, which
Wow.
connects right back to maturity. If love is the governing mechanism of maturity, then our struggle to love is actually a struggle to mature. It's not some side project. It's the yardstick. It governs how we respond in a fight, how we talk about our boss, how we act when no one is watching.
So we've got the problem. We're stalled out at a 4 out of 10. We're frustrated, and our best efforts aren't working. I was completely braced for the, 5 step to becoming a 7 out of 10. And that's the breakthrough moment, isn't it? That's not where he went at all. He introduced the core message God gave him that morning.
Yeah.
The solution is simply this. Apart from me, you can do nothing.
And that one statement just forces you to stop. It forces you to stop trying to generate love from your own, depleted human resources. It shifts the whole focus.
From the branch's effort to the vine's flow. And that phrase, of course, is grounded right in John chapter 15, the vine, the branches.
Yeah.
The imagery is so clear. Jesus is the vine, the source. God the Father is the vine dresser, managing everything. And we're just about the branches.
And the one core command is to abide in me and I in you. The logic is just inescapable. A branch cannot produce fruit, which we're saying is love by itself. It has to stay connected.
Right. So if we tie that back to our 4 out of 10 failure rate, it wasn't a moral failure, it was a technical failure, a failure of connection. We were trying to produce the fruit using our own limited power.
Okay, and this is where the nuance of the source material gets so critical. There was this really important clarification about John 15, verse 2. It says, the branch that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And I always heard that as, like, punishment. You're cut off.
Yeah, it sounds pretty harsh.
But I learned that the word for takes away actually means to lift up.
Oh, that changes everything. That completely flips the narrative from condemnation to cultivation. We feel that 4 out of 10 struggle and we think, oh no, I'm about to be cut off.
Exactly. But the image of being lifted up changes the whole dynamic.
The analogy they used was about a vine branch lying on the ground. It can't get sunlight, the fruit gets moldy.
Right.
The vine dresser doesn't throw it away, he intervenes. He lifts it up out of the dirt, out of its struggle, so it can get more sunlight and actually grow properly.
So when I feel like I'm failing, I shouldn't try to frantically push myself up. That's just more exhaustion. I should just allow the vine dresser to lift me, to adjust my position.
Exactly. It's an adjustment for growth, not a punishment for failure. It's God saying, I see you struggling. Let me take over. Let me get you in a better position to thrive.
Okay, so if the solution isn't trying harder, then what's the practical action step? How do we let the vine dresser lift us? The understanding I got was this. We must surrender our life to Jesus so completely that he will love others through us.
The responsibility just shifts entirely. It's taken off the branch and placed squarely on the vine. But, surrender our life can sound so vague, so overwhelming. Does that mean I quit my job or something?
That's the exact question the speaker got to. He was clear that this key step, surrender, isn't some vague idea. It's a specific, intentional action, moment by moment.
Yeah.
It's practical.
And the teaching defined the scope of it, which I appreciated. We have to surrender everything that keeps us from that flow. All our critical thoughts, all our opinions, our desires, our hopes, our dreams.
Let's make that real for a second. Let's say I surrender my opinion about a coworker who is driving me crazy. The person I mentally rated a 1.5. What does that look like in the next 5 minutes at my desk?
It means you stop the internal monologue. You stop justifying yourself. Our opinion is usually a defense, right? I'm right, they're wrong, so my frustration is justified.
Yeah, 100%.
When you surrender that opinion, you stop defending your right to be annoyed. You step aside, and you allow the flow of the vine, which is love, to replace your judgment. You're letting Christ's perspective on that person flow through you instead of your own.
Wow. That's a total game changer. It means surrendering my right to be right, surrendering my desire for them to see it my way. It means surrendering the very things that make loving feel like too much effort.
That's it, because you're no longer fighting your own nature. The surrender isn't passive. It's an active choice to be dependent. The moment we surrender those specific things, our rightness, our opinions, the divine resource flows, and suddenly we find ourselves operating at a 7 or an 8 without even trying.
So the challenge for the week, it wasn't trying to get to a 5 out of 10. The challenge was to just concentrate on that one simple act, surrendering ourselves so that we might abide in him.
And the benefit is promised right there in the next verses, John 15:7 and 8. If we surrender and abide, we'll ask what we desire, and it'll be done. Why? Because the Father is glorified when we bear much fruit. That 10 out of 10 love becomes the natural outcome, not the exhausting goal.
It's a beautiful, self-sustaining loop. We surrender, his love flows through us, we bear fruit, and the Father gets the glory.
It connects divine glory directly to our maturity, and it's all centered on this simple act of abiding.
And to really ground how we start this process, the sermon ended with a really intentional connection to communion.
Yeah, that brings us back to John chapter 6, verses 55 and 56. The text says, "For my flesh is food indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood abides in me, and I in him."
That positions us, doesn't it? The act of taking communion is how we first accept what he's already done. It's where we start that deeper process of surrender.
It's the foundational act of surrender, really. We accept that his life is our nourishment. And that acceptance then positions us to daily, continually surrender everything else, the opinions, the frustrations, the desires.
So what does this all mean for us, for you listening this week? The path to practicing genuine, effective love isn't about trying harder to drag yourself from a 4 to a 7. It's about accepting that simple truth. I can do nothing without him. It's about choosing daily, intentionally, to surrender my opinions, my desires, so that his love can flow through my interactions. That shift from responsibility to surrender it's the whole key.
The problem was never that we weren't trying hard enough. The problem was we were trying to be the power source. And we were only ever designed to be the conduit. That surrender is the core revelation.
So the ultimate challenge from the speaker was just this. For the coming week, concentrate on the simple act of surrendering everything so that you might abide in him.
And maybe reflect on that one crucial distinction as you go through your day. Are you desperately trying to generate love from your own depleted 4 out of 10 battery? Or are you actively allowing love itself to work effortlessly through you?
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Until next time, goodbye and have a great week.
Thank you for joining us today. Remember, love is the church's ultimate defense. Without it, our faith and our actions are often in vain. As you go about your week, I challenge you to take those 2 vital steps. First, surrender everything, your will, your thoughts, and your desires, to make room for his. And second, simply abide in him. When you stay connected to the vine, his love begins to flow through you naturally to the people around you. Until next time, stop pushing the stone and start resting in the vine. We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening to Life Unpacked, and we'll see you next time as we continue to unpack life by the unfolding of God's Word.